Hi, I hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'm going to run through 7 steps on how to conduct a literature search, with a bonus tip at the end, so stay tuned for that. Okay, let's jump straight into it. There are 7 key steps to undertake when conducting a literature search. Planning, identifying key databases, making use of subject indexes, keyword searching, investigating references and citations, looking up individual authors, and looking up individual journals. Before starting your literature search, it's important to plan your search as much as you possibly can. There's a danger of missing key papers if you go straight to a database and putting in whatever keywords come to mind, and you will also find the process more time consuming. When coming up with keywords, try to think as broadly as possible about the kinds of terms you need to use to find the articles you need. You'll reach a natural point in the process where you can't come up with any more keywords, and that's the point at which you need to stop and then start to move on towards the next stage of the literature searching process. The key thing is not to have the keywords that you've come up with set in stone. The entire search process should be one of review and renewal, so you should be continually reviewing your search results, seeing if there's additional keywords that you can use to then incorporate back into your searches. Once you've mapped out your keywords, it's time to move on to the databases. The main database for psychology is APA PsycInfo, which you can access via EBSCO. PsycInfo contains over 3 million citations, the largest single collection of psychology papers. As a result, PsycInfo is the best place to go to start your literature searching. You'll also notice a database called PsycArticles, but everything in PsycArticles is also in PsycInfo. So in terms of psychology databases, you can just focus your searching initially on PsycInfo. However, the key thing is to remember not just to search PsycInfo. There are a lot of other databases that you will need to access in order to conduct a thorough literature search. Some databases, like Academic Search Complete for example, will be relevant on all psychology programs because there are psychology journals in Academic Search Complete that aren't in PsycInfo. There's also CINAHL for clinical, Business Source Complete for organisational psychology, and a whole series of education related databases. There's also Science Direct, which again is relevant to all aspects of psychology. And finally Scopus, which is the largest research database and again is relevant to all psychology areas. When it comes to actually searching the databases, there are a number of different strategies you should use. No one strategy should be used in isolation. To make sure that your search is as effective as possible, it's good to use a combination of all of these different types of approaches to your literature search. By following all of these strategies, you minimise the chances of missing a paper that's going to be crucial for your research. An effective strategy to start off with when using the databases is to use the subject indexes. Databases use subject indexes to help categorise the contents of the database. A bit like tagging in social media, subject indexes help to connect together all the articles on the same topic. By applying these subject terms consistently right across the database, it makes it much easier to find all of the articles on a particular topic. Subject terms also have the advantage of helping you to eliminate variations in spelling and can cover for different synonyms because everything will be categorised with the same term regardless. One of the drawbacks of using subject terms is it can be a very narrow way of searching because you're limiting your search to how the database has categorised the articles. You may also find that terminology in the index is outdated and no longer acceptable. It can take time for usage to be updated and reflective of modern usage. Finally, you may find that very specific terminology may not be available in the index. Specific therapies, for example, may not have a subject index term. Sometimes it's necessary to take a step back and think about your topic more broadly when looking for the subject index term that you need. Another approach to searching is to use keywords. Using keywords to focus on specific areas, for example the title, the abstract or the author keywords, can be an effective way of broadening your search and bringing in papers that may also be relevant to you. When used in conjunction with a subject term, it can be a powerful way to find the articles you need. Keyword searching alone, however, can lead to a large number of results that then require careful filtering using the filters available in the database. It is also necessary to think more carefully about synonyms and related terms to ensure you don't miss relevant papers. It's also important when searching to think more carefully about how you construct your search. And this is where Boolean operators come in. Boolean operators basically break down as follows: and for X and Y, or for X or Y, not for X, not Y. When using Boolean operators, you need to be really careful about how you use them, particularly using brackets to enclose your synonyms and related terms. Equally, it's really important when you read your search string back to yourself that you can understand what it is you're searching for. Sometimes there's a temptation to overcomplicate it and try and cover all possibilities, and then you can sometimes find that when you read the search back, you're not actually really clear on what it is you're searching for. It can also be very easy to be so comprehensive that your keywords actually end up duplicating themselves. So it's important to take real care when you choose which keywords you want to look for and which you want to include in your brackets. Another good approach is to dig into a paper's references and also to see who has cited the paper that you found. To check citations for individual papers, you'll need to go to Scopus. Once you've accessed the database, just copy-paste the article title into the Scopus search and hit search. If the article is in the database, you'll then be able to see how many times that paper is cited and who cited it, which can be really, really useful in picking up additional papers that may be relevant to you. This snowballing approach can be a really powerful way of finding papers relevant to your research. However, it should be used with care and it should not be the sole approach that you take to finding papers relevant for your research. As with all of these strategies, it should be used in conjunction with others to make sure your search is as effective as possible. Scopus can also be really useful for looking up individual authors. Every author indexed in Scopus has their own author page listing all of their research outputs that are indexed in Scopus. Although other databases have a facility for searching for authors, Scopus is the most comprehensive and the best place to go to do that. Scopus is also a good place to go to identify key journals in your research area. By using the source filter, you can see how many of the articles are published in which journals, which can be a really effective way to identify a key journal that you may want to investigate further. To investigate a particular journal, head to Library Search, search for the journal title to see if we have access to that journal, and then if we do, follow the route through to access it. If we don't, look up the journal online, head to its homepage, and there will always be a search option available on the journal homepage. So just put in your search terms and you should be able to find relevant articles in that particular journal. If you find papers in the journal that we don't have access to that are relevant to you and you need to access them, then you can submit an interlibrary loan request or see the bonus section coming up next. Okay, so that bonus tip I mentioned. It's a common problem for researchers to come up against paywalls and be unable to access the research articles they need. Thankfully, there's increasing numbers of tools out there to help you navigate around paywalls and find the articles legally that you need to access. For example, Unpaywall. Unpaywall is a browser plugin that will look for freely available versions of papers. Just install the plugin and you'll see a padlock icon on the right-hand side whenever you're on a journal article. If it's green, it means it's legally freely available to you. If it's grey, it means it's not. By clicking on the padlock icon, it will take you to the freely available version of the paper. There's also Open Access Button. Open Access Button is a search engine and a browser plugin that again can help you to find freely available versions of papers. Links to all of these tools are in the description below. If these options don't work, you can always submit an interlibrary loan request and we'll try to get the article for you from the British Library. If you can't get a paper through any of these means, it's also worth dropping the author a line and seeing if they're able to share a version of the paper with you. Lead authors for papers now nearly always have their email address on them, so it's well worth just dropping them a line and seeing if they're able to help you out. Links to all the tools I mentioned are in the description below. I hope this video was useful. Take care and see you soon.